This is Dennis Peacock with another edition of the Transforum. And as I have been sharing recently, I want to talk and add to our global news analysis by talking about some of the principles that are required to produce freedom and prosperity for nations. Not just the United States, but for all nations. And we're developing a living document. At this point, there are 12 principles that we're looking at that we feel are essential, especially in the crisis that is looming in front of all of us, in terms of bringing the nations to the point where they can reevaluate what they've done and reestablish a foundation that is not going to result in us getting back in the same place we are now. Now, one of the major principles, in fact, the first one, is this statement that there are absolute objective principles, and they undergird the created order of matter, of personal and social relationships, and the possibilities of creating sustainable freedom and prosperity. In other words, the political correctness of trying to make everybody feel valuable and everybody feel like they have a corner on truth, which is valid for all the rest of us. I understand why we want to do that. I understand why we want to validate every human being. There's only one problem with that. Everybody's opinion is not equally important. Everybody's truth is not equally true. Part of what has got us in this incredibly destructive situation is we're afraid to tell it like it is with respect and honor, but nevertheless tell it like it is. There are absolutes. Everybody's cultural values are not equal. You have to be blind, deaf, dumb, and ignorant of human history and the history of civilizations to actually hold to that kind of a belief. How many of you know that reality gives us feedback? Every single day, you and I are given the treat of seeing the results of what our ideas and actions produce. History gives us the same information. That's why it's so important to know something about history and the history of success and failure, both of nations, people, and organizations. There are absolute realities. Gravity is one of them. Adultery destroys relationships. Lying destroys relationships. Not investing in your children guarantees their failure to a large extent. There's multiple principles of social and economic reality that if we don't fix ourselves on identifying what they are, we're going to continue to remain in this quagmire of relativism and this idea that everybody's ideas are of equal value. All human beings have value. That's an indisputable fact. Those of us who believe in creation and a God that created people realizes that God don't make no junk. Everybody has got value. But saying that everybody has value is not the same thing as saying everybody's opinion is equally valid. Everybody's opinion is not equally valid. We're going to have to come to the point where we're willing to deal with that and the consequences and implications of that level of reality. This is Dennis Peacock saying to you in the Transforum, let's engage, but let's engage in reality. That's what counts.